to Action Figure Sunday with OmniDog and my good buddy T-Bone. T-Bone, how's it going?
You're not tricking me into saying something at the beginning of the show, Jess. I've fallen for that too many times. You always start the show. I'm never ready. I'm not going to fall for your tricks, man. I thought we were friends.
The show has started.
Oh, I'm not going to fall for it. Well, sure it has, Jess. Sure. I believe you. Totally. No, yeah. Hello, everybody who's totally here.
Dead air T-Bone, because you're just dead air now.
Are we seriously live?
Yes, we are. Yes, we've been on for 50 seconds.
Gosh, dude, why do you do this to me? I thought you were joking.
Oh, so now it's my fault?
I was waiting for. Oh my gosh, this is a train wreck. Well, welcome everybody to Action Figure Friday Sunday. Here we are.
Yeah, we usually do it on Fridays, but getting Tyler to commit like nailing to the wall, so I just decided to grab him when I could, and it was a Sunday at 3:30. And of course, everybody wants to know about how the popcorn store was.
I don't know how people know about the popcorn store, Jess, but it was fantastic. I ordered $35 worth of popcorn. I'm certainly not proud of it, but it did happen, and they will be ready and eaten for the game tonight. So,
how many flavors of popcorn did you try last night at the popcorn store?
19.
19.
They kind of hated me.
Popcorn.
They kind of hated me, but it was all good. Fruit Loops was the weirdest one.
Fruit Loops popcorn.
Yeah, I ended up getting garlic parmesan, which for some weird reason they had discontinued. So they were like, "We'll make you a special batch," and they made it. I ordered a small, and they were like, "We kind of accidentally made a large, and nobody wants this, so you can have all of it." I was like, "Okay, sweet." So I got garlic popcorn, garlic butter. I got regular butter popcorn, garlic parmesan, super butter, white cheddar, and Mississippi mud, which is everybody's favorite.
What is in Mississippi mud?
Chocolate, caramel, marshmallows. Success. Someone's getting a text.
I know, it's my daughter.
I think it might be you.
It's football Sunday, so she's asking
I know
about why the Falcons are smacking the Saints. So I have no idea.
No, the Falcons are always smacking the Saints. That's very upsetting.
Yeah, I know. Since you root for every team in the NFL except the Rams.
No, this is my team right here.
Well, and then they
the Bears.
root for the Saints, and then they lose and you root for Chicago, and then they
the Bears.
San Diego or something.
Look, I think you're just ultimately upset because we both know that Tom Brady is the greatest football player who's ever lived.
Okay, broadcast is over. It was nice being friends with you.
I'm kidding. Wait, don't do it, Jess. Don't do it. So today, we got a great show for you guys. A great show for everybody. Everyone's been asking about this, right, Jess? I mean, people ask you all this, stop you on the street, and they say, "Hey, Jess, OmniDog, could you tell me about flight stands?"
Yeah, I think people want to know what flight stands are.
Okay. Well, hang on to that question because I got a few figures I'd like to show off first.
Okay, good.
And then we will get to the flight stands of flight stands. The flight stands. That's actually their official name, the flight stands. So these are figures, most of them I've shown, but I just wanted to show what they look like in hand and really sing their praise a little bit. These might be in any one of these figures could be in my top 5 figures of the year so far. That's how much I love all of these figures. First up, Colossus, looking good. And I just want to show for scale's sake and for coolness sake, Polaris.
Ooh.
So this is the 2-pack Polaris from Havoc, and this is the Colossus. So you can tell Colossus is a really good size.
Any one of these figures.
And he's got this nice metallic shine to him, which is fantastic. And these are the ones that I really wanted to get to, Jess. These are very important to both me and you don't know it yet, but you. But First, I'll show the Juggernaut.
Crazy. You and Taylor Brown, you guys.
We love you too much. Is that a crime? When did that become a crime? That we want the best for you in life too much? I know.
You guys super bait me on everything.
So we got Havoc, who is so awesome. And this Juggernaut for size, again, really cool. And, all the articulation is as good at this point. Ankle rockers, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, ab crunch. I mean, he's got that. And if I could show you, if I had a desk, you can totally get this guy to balance on one leg and get like a one leg running pose like this.
Whoa, really?
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
It's so awesome. Yeah, you're starting to feel it now. You're starting to feel it.
I am. That is cool because it would look good on my diorama that I got from Big Bad Toy Store.
And where he's charging somebody. Could be Havoc. Havoc is fantastic. And then finally, all right, look, here's the truth, Jess. I almost called and told you this, but I figured I'd wait to do it till today. As your friend, I'm your friend. I'm only looking out for what's best for you. You have to get these figures. These figures I'm about to show you are maybe 3 of the best Marvel Legends that have ever been made.
No, 1 second. Make Havoc is asking, is that Juggy a Build-A-Figure? That's not. That's a legend.
Great question. Yes, it is actually not the Build-A-Figure. There is a Build-A-Figure of the Juggernaut, but that came in a 2-pack of the Colossus and Juggernaut, and you can find it for, I think, $60 at Target. I found it in store at Target, but you can also get it from Target.com. Well worth it. We got a great 90s Colossus, and the Juggernaut comes with a head swap, like where he's got his normal head and a shattered helm. Extremely cool. I mean, if you're a 90s X-Men fan, you kind of got to get it. But even if you're not a 90s fan, these next 3 figures are T-Bone's must-buy of 2019. I put my highest level of quality and endorsement on these figures, and I'm about to show them to you right now. The first, hear me out, is another Wolverine.
Another Wolverine.
Now look, can you make me big?
Yeah.
I wish I'd chosen different words there, but can you make me full screen? So, first of all, reasons why this Wolverine is better than every other Wolverine that's come out. 1, he comes with bone claws. The only Marvel Legends Wolverine outside of like some crappy movie figures to come with bone claws. But he also comes with metal claws as well. So you get the bone and metal claw variant.
That you can swap out?
You can swap out. Which is very important too. It's the classic 90s Tiger Stripe Wolverine with the ears that are a little bit flared. It's the most 90s comic accurate, probably the most iconic look for Wolverine in action figure form, and it's perfect. Like 10 out of 10. Would not change anything. It's an incredible figure. You can't go wrong with it. Gotta have it. Plus, look at those bone claws, man. Those are sick. Good news for you is this figure comes in a 3-pack with 2 other people who are must-haves. The second is this Cyclops. Look at how rad he looks. And let me just say, he comes with a head swap that's got him in his red visor, his like red sunglasses, instead of visor. But look at that sweet bomber jacket, 90s style. I mean, that is sick, dude. It's just iconic, classic Cyclops. You have to have him.
I've already got 2 Cyclops.
But none that look this good. And you get the head swap. You get the head swap with the glasses, the red glasses, bomber style jacket. I've seen somebody take off this little X-Men thing right here, this belt, because you can take it off, you can cut it, and put a different head on him and make him morph, who was an X-Men from the 90s, which was really cool, easy custom to do. But Cyclops, got to have it. This is the creme de la creme of the 3-pack. Save the best for last. How long I waited for a perfect 90s accurate Jean Grey. Look at that face.
Wow.
Look at how gorgeous that face is. There's a head swap where she's got a ponytail that looks equally stunning. There was another 90s Jean Grey that was released, but the articulation was just really bad, especially the legs. And the leg articulation is perfect on this. The design is great. Like, look at the gold on the side of her leg. Like, it is just so well done. I'm telling you, man, it's a must-have. It really is. And these guys they're already hard to find. But if you don't pre-order them online, you'll never find them. Like, if you don't get them in store now, they're in GameStop now or online, they're going to skyrocket in price. I guarantee you. Each one of these figures is going to be probably a $60 to $100 figure.
Don't FOMO me.
I'm just telling you the truth. No, I'm just telling you the truth. You FOMO yourself. It's just the truth, okay? So that's the spill. I truly think this is a must buy. The Havoc, again, very cool figure. Not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I mean, the level of detail is what I love on this Havoc. The jacket, just look how cool that is, man. It's great. But this is, hey, get this if you like the characters or if you like 90s X-Men or X-Force. Tune in to the OmniDog and T-Bone show to find out if we like 90s X-Force, coming soon. But it's only a must buy if you like these characters. The X-Men set's just it's a must buy. There's no getting around it. That's
Where
it.
did you get it? GameStop?
I got it from GameStop, but they have them online. You can pre-order a Big Bad Toy Store or a bunch of other places.
Oh, that's what I need. Another Big Bad Toy Store. I gotta have a nervous breakdown over showing up at my house.
That's it. Did you want to show off something that maybe you got in, Jess? Full screen it and show off stuff. What did you get in, Jess? Who loves you? Who loves you? Tell the people what they want to know.
It took a while, but my good friend Taylor Blount sent me what he found at Walgreens, this fabulous Mystique that I have not been able to find. It took 3 weeks of badgering.
Whoa. That's slander, my friend.
DMs before he let the hostage go. And she is sweet looking. And she comes with extra head of her morphing into Rogue. And I'll do this live on air and see if it works right.
I believe.
Lilana can go on Silver Sable's body.
Look at that. Do it. Lilandra. Do it.
Lilandra, right.
Professor X is a lover. She our lover.
Whoop. Okay. Headless. And now Lilandra goes on. And becomes
it's so awesome, dude. I need to get another Silver Sable. That's the truth.
That's what I ended up doing.
Did you buy a second Silver Sable? I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so good. Man, I tell you what, that Taylor Blount guy really loves you. If he went to all the trouble to go 3 minutes out of his way to get something that you yourself paid for, I mean, that's something else. He must really care about you.
He does care about me. And he went to the post office, which I assume is a solid 5 minutes away.
You nailed it. Yeah, we're at 8 minutes now. 8 whole minutes. It's unbelievable. I'm going to give a shout out to a few people in the chat. Tim Klein, going to buy that 3-pack. He knows what's up. Taylor Brown. Yes, it does come with Dr. Pepper claws that Wolverine does, which are the best claws. Everybody knows it.
Taylor Brown is getting upset because Tyler, you already spent your allotment of Jess's money for the year. Don't encroach on how much I want him to spend his money.
Oh man, so true. Make Havoc. That Havoc is neither an Amazon or Target exclusive. I got it from GameStop, but you should be able to find it at Big Bad Toy Store or any online retailer. And a special shout out to my buddy Ryan, who is not nearly as talented as I am in either Rainbow Six Siege or Call of Duty, but I wanted to give him a shout out because he can't defend himself from that claim right now, which is just perfect. So it's out there. Everybody knows it. He can't say anything about it because he's not on air. So that's how it works.
He wanted to see our fancy Mayfex Spider-Man.
Oh, well, if we get those other ones in, the $10 ones, if they ever come in, we're going to do a special little show on that.
Right.
But who knows? So, okay. Are we ready for some flight stands?
No, it's not awkward. Yeah, actually, it is kind of awkward walking up to Walgreens with action figures. Do you ever get weird looks? Taylor Brown's asking.
Do I get weird looks or you? You go ahead.
Taylor Brown, let me put it up.
Yeah, I'm saying, is he asking you or me?
Probably both of us.
Why don't you give your...
Is it ever awkward walking up to Walgreens register with action figures? Do you ever get weird looks? It's a lot easier. Well, since I'm a 60-year-old man going up buying action figures, it's not as bad as when I was a 16-year-old taking a Playboy up and buying that. But yeah, I do feel sort of awkward, but not as awkward as buying Playboy or Penthouse when I was 16.
Yeah, that's awkward. So I always get weird looks. So it just kind of is nothing new, nothing different for me. People always look at me weird. So I feel like that's just part of the norm. I don't ever really feel awkward about it, but also normally my daughter's there with me and they're like, this is a weirdly old toy for her, but they just kind of roll with it, or they assume I'm getting it for somebody else. I'm not usually like, boy, I can't wait to put this bad boy on display and stare at it all day.
Yeah, I don't think I get any weird looks. They're so bored behind the register.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right. Well, are you guys ready to learn? Or did you have more, Jess? Did you have more figures?
No, I don't think so. I think I showed all my figures already. I think I pretty much showed my Big Bad Toy Store haul already in one of our haul videos. So I don't think I should go over that again.
Yeah, probably not. It's a good point. So let's talk about these bad boys.
So yeah, what is a flight stand and why are we so obsessed with using them?
A flight stand is simply a stand that makes a character look like they're flying. Hence the name flight stand. So, again, this means nothing to mint on card collectors who don't take their figures out and play with them. But I think we've made it pretty clear that we like to play with our toys and set them up in cool displays and in dioramas. And there are stands. Let me just say that there are a few companies who make stands. Tamashii Nations is probably the Bandai Tamashii Nations are probably the most popular. They, one, don't hold a lot of weight.
Right.
But they do bend in nice ways. They don't hold a lot of weight. And two, they're just very obvious because you have this big giant base and they're clear, but I don't know. I just haven't had great experience with them. And the primary thing is that they don't hold a lot of weight. So some of your heavier figures, really only like your lightest figures can they hold, at least in my experience. So I did not come up with this technique, but I saw it online, thought it was great, tried it, found how ridiculously easy it was. And I'm going to show you guys on air how easy it is to do this. And it just totally changed my displays. Because again, most of us are displaying stuff. Now, like behind you, Jess, you've got maybe 3 or 4 figures in front of your Spider-Man books over your right shoulder, or maybe your left shoulder. I'm so confused. Yeah, that one. So you've got 3 or 4 figures like Mysterio, Big Time Spider-Man, those all lined up, and they're all on the same plane in front of books. But if you've got a shelf where you've got, say, a line of figures behind them, or maybe 2 lines of figures behind them, it gets really hard to see the figures in the back. Like unless you're standing above the shelf, it's really difficult to tell who's in back and who's in front. Plus, if you ever set up like a cool fight scene, like if you ever set up like I know Jess likes to do, and I like to do as well, like maybe you're going to set up, Cyclops fighting Colossus, which I'll show you in a second what that can look like. You're pretty limited if all you can do is just stand them there. This gives you another layer and dimension for your figures. And you know what? A lot of characters can fly. Like, it's superhero comics. Flying is the basic of all basic superpowers.
Or jump high.
Or jump high. That's right. Or jump high. So you get this wire. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, exactly where you can get it from, and exactly what it's used for. And I'm sorry, exactly how we're going to use it. And you can find this in aisle 18, bay 10.
That's right. At all Home Depots.
At all Home Depots. And it's going to come like this. This is exactly what it looks like. Its official name is Double Loop Sign Holder. And this is like if you were to stick it in a yard, it would do, you put a sign in it of some kind, like a political sign or just recently sold house or something like that. That's not what we're using it for, obviously. So right off the bat, I want to show you what it looks like complete. And I want to tell you why these work extremely well for certain figures, because they don't work for all figures. As Jess noticed earlier, because let's see if we can get this in there. It's kind of it's much thicker than a coat hanger. And I'll say you can do this with coat hangers, but the coat hangers aren't going to hold your bigger figures and they're going to bend more, but they are a good alternative. You may have one in your closet. They're a good alternative for some of the lighter figures. But here is what we can do. So this is the flight stand. This is the base. I wish I could. Let's see if I can maybe angle this down. You can see it just sits like this. And I'm going to show you guys what it's going to look like here in just a second. Let's see, I'll put my camera back in the right spot. Let's focus on my face again. So here's how I use mine. Here's a great example of a figure that it will work really well on. We're going to take this Cyclops right here, okay? So the biggest question is, for a normal 6-inch scale, because I would say Cyclops is probably a normal 6-inch scale, how do you get this big old thing to hold this guy up? Well, right off the bat, Cyclops has a distinct advantage because he's got a jacket. Anybody that has some type of a clothing article on their back, be it a belt, a jacket, I use this on Deadpool. He's got the katanas. You can just slide it right in the back, and he floats right there. So then you can set him up to be like in a, like maybe he's jumping.
Oh.
So maybe he's jumping like this. And he, like if I had his other hand in, he'd be touching his visor, blasting like this. So he's blasting away from himself or something. Imagine that his hand is flat here. It takes a little balance. You got to figure out the exact right balance situation. But you put him up there. Let's see if we can't get him. And he just stands just like that. So if this was standing on the ground, you could put him right here. Then you could put a bigger figure like Colossus in front of him in a pose. And now you've hidden your flight stand, and Cyclops looks like he's jumping in the air. Obviously, this would be like a jumping shot, and it's really easy to do because of that. But maybe you have a character who, like, for example, Jean Grey might be a little harder, but she's got a belt. See? So I've just tucked it in the back of her belt right there, pushes the belt up a little bit, and then we bend her legs. So we'll bend these nice double jointed knees like she's flying. She's looking, pointing this way maybe. We stick it right in her belt. Look at that cool display.
Oh, so that's how I can do it with this Wolvie that I couldn't fit it in his belt. So, and there's a few other ways to do it. I'm going to show them to you. But isn't that just great? So then again, in a team display, you put Colossus in front of her, it just looks like she's flying. Works great with Storm. There's a myriad of characters that it works with. Good word.
So the other option, and this is how I actually find that I use this stand more than anything, because there's only so many figures that have jackets and belts, right? I'm trying to find a figure that this might work on. But let's say we've got, I should go grab a Spider-Man because it works really well on Spider-Man's. Imagine this is Spidey, okay? We're going to imagine for a second that this is Spidey. He's web slinging through the air. This is Havoc in a Spidey style pose. Whip, whip. He's web slinging through the air. If you'll notice, and this takes some finagling to do, if you'll notice the joint where his leg meets his buttocks, you can stick it right in that joint. Sometimes it takes some finagling. Some characters it works better with than others. But see, I'm not sure if this is going to work on this Havoc or not. There you go. Now look. So we could get this pose however we want. Again, imagine this is Spider-Man web slinging. It goes right in that butt joint. See that?
Nice.
Everybody with me? So there's a lot of different ways you could do this. A lot of different ways you could, let's see. Trying to get this. Yeah, there we go. Try to get out of his bum. But yeah, there's a lot of different methods to making this. I'm going to show you how I made it and how easy it was for me to do. And I'm telling you, I'm the least handy person you will ever meet. I don't know. I can't fix anything. I can't do anything. And this was a 5-minute tutorial that somebody sent me, and it was super easy. So I'm going to show you from start to finish. Is that cool, Jess?
Please do.
Okay. Try not to dominate the time, but
no, it's fine.
This is so again, we're going to take just a regular sign holder. We're going to take this sticker off. Let's see. At some point, we'd come in here and get all that fuzz off. I'm not going to do that right now. So there's 2 types of pliers, and there's probably a bunch of types of pliers, 2 types that I had, but some pliers have this combined. So you've got your regular bendy pliers like this, and then you've got your cutty pliers. These are the official Home Depot terms. Trust me, I'm very well informed. So some pliers, like I have another pair of pliers somewhere, if I can find them, that has the cutty thing, excuse me, this cutty thing inside the inner groove of these pliers. And so use what you got. Love the one you're with. That's how they say to do it. I'll check if there's some questions, go ahead and ask them. Maybe Jess can see them and relay them.
Sure.
So we're going to start with, this is a good place to cut it at the first bend. You can make these, by the way, however long you want. So I've got some that are really short that I use just to kind of set, like this is the length that like is a normal standing character. He's not flying, but it just helps me pose the character. And I did this into a triangle to test it out. It doesn't help fly the character, but it helps stand him up if I was having trouble with balance. But you've got anywhere from this height to this height. Like, look at that. So like, this is the one I use for my Marvel Legends Storm when she's like flying way above all the X-Men. See, I dropped this thing here. And it looks super cool in like an X-Men group shot when you've got Jean and Storm flying and I've got Gambit jumping and throwing his cards. It's just really dynamic, which is really cool to me. All right, so we're going to take this. We're going to go up to the first little curve here. We're going to get our cutty pliers. We're going to decide where we want to do it. I'm going to apply pressure as much as I can. We're just going to start rotating, working a groove into these pliers. Now, let me just say, you can cut it all the way through. It's pretty tough. It's a thick wire. So we're going to do a full rotation or 2. Might do a little bit more. So now, so you can see the little groove right there that we made. We're just going to apply a little pressure and it snaps. Now we've got the base for our first flight stand. So the first thing we're going to do after getting this, take the grippy pliers, and we're going to rotate this circle out some. So I like to try to straighten the circle part as much as I can. Now, as a rule of thumb, you kind of want the circle, which is the base, to be about as wide, maybe a little bit wider than the shoulder width of the character you're trying to stand. That's how it's really going to help it balance. So once we've got it like this, I bent it back in just a little bit because I noticed it was much longer than that. Oh,
yeah.
So we're just going to take these pliers right here.
Yoink.
You got it. You did it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to bend this out.
The cutty pliers that are also bendy pliers.
You got the bendy cutty ones?
Yeah.
You're 1%er. Look at you. All right. So you bend out the circle a little bit, and it's you just playing with it like it's all. Yeah, we're gonna get to the blowtorch in just a second, Chris M. Don't worry. The fire's coming. You're gonna go where you want the flight stand to kind of bend up. You can grip it like this. You're simply gonna bend upwards. That's it. Super easy. Now, it might take some getting used to, but you would think you're done here. You're not. Because this tip you made is a sharp point. It can have sharp edges to it. It may not be sharp, like I'm touching it, it's not hurting, but it's not smooth. And depending on the figure, it may scratch paint off, which you definitely don't want to do. You don't want to scratch any of the paint off your figure. So for example, like this Cyclops, the yellow and blue are actually part of the plastic. Those aren't paint apps. That's the plastic color. So it'd be fine to use on this figure. But for a figure like Spider-Man, they might have a lot of painted parts around his butt where you're going to display it. You're going to want to take this and you're just going to get a sand, like a metal file, and file it down. If you don't have a metal file, you know what I did? I just went outside to my driveway, which is just gravel, turned it upside down, just scratched it a bunch, made it dull, and it was totally fine. So you can use this to balance your figure. And once you start balancing your figure, you may have to bend this out a little bit more. You can do it with your hand at this point. This part right here, you may need to bend forward or backwards a little bit more just to help with the balance. But every figure has a point of equilibrium. And like, if I was to set this down, it's rocking a little bit like this. So I would take my pliers. It's just a little bit uneven. And I would bend it to be as flush with the ground as possible. So like, because it's rocking, you want to be able to put it down on a hard surface and every piece of this be touching evenly. If it's not, you're just going to get your pliers and you're going to bend it. So you got that far.
Yeah. So now what do I do?
Now you're just going to take where your thumb is.
Yeah.
Maybe a little lower than that. Yeah, right there. And you're going to put your plier on it and just bend it straight up.
Bend it straight up. Okay.
Or towards you or away from you, depending on where you want to go. So I'm going to just adjust this right here. I'm just, again, working with it to see where the flat piece is and all of that to get it as flat as possible on a surface. Sometimes you can even just set it down on a flat surface and work with it with your hands. And now it's done. That's my flight stand. So this would be like a medium flight stand. This would be like the size. Actually, it's still a little uneven, so I need to go work on it a little bit more. But you get the idea. This size flight stand would be more for like a Spider-Man web slinging or jumping next to somebody, or a Wolverine jumping upwards, something like that. But you can take what's left over, because this will actually make 3 flight stands, and this is like $1.50. This whole sign piece is $1.50. So that's a big benefit to not buying like a $15 3-pack. It was like $5 a piece for a stand. It just gets really pricey. And I think that these are much better in a collection because they're easier to hide in your displays. So this right here, this will easily make 2 more. So you just decide, like, I want my next one to be medium height, so I'll cut it here. Then I want my last one to be like super tall. And again, if there's no circle, you apply the same technique. With no circle, you bend a circle to how you want it and then bend it straight up. That's it. Super easy. So one thing that I found is really neat with it, and I'm going to show you this last one. Good job. You did it. So you just want to put that down on your desk. make sure that all the round part is flat. If it's not, bend it with your hand so that all the parts of the round circle are touching.
Yeah.
As best you can. So here's something that I kind of just tweaked a little bit that I really like. I'm going to go get a figure to show you exactly what this does, but I've got it bent. So you're like, why do you have this figure? Why do you have this flight stand bent in a half circle? And that's because you can get a few cooler poses, I think, out of this flight stand. So I did more of like a rectangle here instead of a circle for a base, but just to test it out to see how the thing would be. So I'm going to go grab this really quick, and I think you'll find this somewhat neat. We'll see.
I'm working on Wolverine, old school Wolverine, attacking a big old Hulk that I've got. So he's got a belt, and I'm going to try and stick it through his belt.
All right, work on it because I haven't tried a Wolverine yet, so I'm not sure. You may have to do the leg joint or something like that. So this is the last thing I was going to show that these can be good for. So let's take Captain America, for example. There's a lot of figures in Marvel Legends line and other lines. Can you see, Jess? He's got a hole in where his star is because that's where his shield goes. So you can mount his shield to Captain America. Well, what you can also do is put this, which I've got bent, in the hole.
Mystique has that too.
Yeah, she does. So now I've got it bent like this, and I can set him up like he's jumping away from something. Like if I had like a Bucky, I would have his guns out like he's jumping backwards. There's all kinds of cool things you can do. And there's some Spider-Man figures, some other figures that have holes in the back for other things that just allows for another layer of posing. So I like to curve the edge a little bit. See how it goes. So I got a bunch of these flight stands. It's worked really well for me. You would be shocked at some of these characters that they will hold up. Like, I don't know. Let's see if we can get this one. I'm going to see. I don't know if this will work or not. But sometimes they just take a little bit of time to get the balance right. And I won't waste everybody's time mid Sunday afternoon, but some of these figures, even as big as Juggernaut, will balance on a stand. Like, that's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy that a figure that big, that size, will balance. So works great for light figures, works great for heavy figures, and you can just get creative. That's it. That's the T-Bone Masterclass on action figure flight stands. Got any questions?
I've almost got the belt loop going.
It's like I'm related to David S. Pumpkins. Any questions? Yes, several. Let's see.
I don't want to break this.
Taylor Brown says that he and I have the same level of home maintenance skills. Then may God be with both of our wives. Ryan, somehow worried that I'm going to hurt myself. Like that's ever happened today.
Today.
Yesterday, maybe. Today is a new day. So, and you know, one thing that people do with these stands, I haven't done it yet, that can be done is you can get a little paint them black to blend in a little bit more. There's just a bunch of options here.
Now, Wolvie's tippy.
So here's the thing. There is an equilibrium spot. It may just take a little time to find. He may be tipping over, which means you may have to spin him on the display. Like, yep, just like that. You may have to spin him around, continue to spin him until you find a good spot for him, or you may have to bend this back.
I think I need to bend it back
a little bit. It can take some time to figure out, but once you get it, it'll work great. It'll hide back there, and it's really fun. Fun, easy, cheap. The more you know. The more you know. That was a quote from Mr. Awesome. Mr. Awesome on YouTube.
Does my circle need to be bigger?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Maybe rotate him all the way around where he's inside of your circle.
Ah. You're so smart.
Got him, coach. Look at that. So cool.
Now he's
that's going to be a great scene. So, again, depending on how you like to set up your stuff, I'm going to go get something else to show you. Like, there's all kinds of creative things you can do to hide your flight stands when you're displaying your action figures.
I don't know that I can hide my flight stand here. I'm just happy I got him to pose.
So you can buy these accessories on eBay. They're really cheap. I think these were like $6 for two. This cool like oil container, which is like this two oil cans. Set this right in front of the flight stands. You'll never see the flight stands. Same with this dumpster, which I think I've shown before. I need to paint it, weather it a little bit. But this dumpster, or I got some trash cans inside of it you can put in front of the flight stands. There's plenty of ways and accessories you can use to hide flight stands. And then if you want to set up like some type of like a cool display, you could do a thing where it's like, you know, you take this cap, for example, you put this in and you put the couch in front of it. So you look like Cap's jumping over the couch to sit on it or something. He's just about to plop down. I mean, there's all kinds of fun things you can do to hide the flight stands if they bother you. And you know what? They don't bother me. So like I let them be seen in a lot of my displays because I think the posing is cool and it doesn't bother me. But there's also a lot of fun, creative things you can do. There you go. That's all I got for you, folks.
That was awesome because now I have Wolverine ready to go out in my diorama with ripped up Hulk from the cover of 181.
It's perfect.
I'm
Absolutely
excited.
Perfect.
I'm really excited. Now I have a problem.
Okay, tell me. You need this 3-pack, but you don't know where to get it. Oh, Dr. Doom. Okay.
Infamous Iron Man.
So here's what you do with him. You ready? That's going to be the easiest figure you ever hung up.
Yeah, but the cape, I don't know if it's strong enough.
Oh, it's strong enough. You stick it right under that cape, it'll hold it up.
You think so?
Okay. Absolutely.
Because he's a guy I want flying.
Absolutely. That's going to be the easiest flight stand you ever have mounted on any figure. You're just going to stick it right under that cape. It's going to be perfect. No problems.
All right.
It's going to be great. And it's going to look really good flying. Yeah, I mean, again, flight is a basic power of superheroes. Like half the characters have it. So between flight and jumping characters who are agile, like that's everybody in comics.
Yeah.
So you can go nuts with this. You can set up your X-Men display or whatever characters you want. You can have cool air battles. It's fantastic.
Sandra has a hole in her back. I can have her jumping into the arms of Professor X and his chin.
You could. That'd be perfect. What a good figure. What a good idea. I am going to be is that next week, the next Batter Day?
Yes, next Saturday, Tyler. And you have to have your Batman TMNT knowledge.
What if I'm at the popcorn store?
Then you'll do it live.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. I'll be ready. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to do a show with Taylor for probably years. Didn't even know it. Maybe a decade I've been wanting to do a show with Taylor. Jess tries to keep us apart. He's like, your names are too similar. I'll never keep you.
That is going to be a problem next week for me.
My best friend in high school's name was Taylor. And people get us confused all the time by name. True.
Unfortunately,
true.
Tag, and that is going to be used extensively.
There you go. All right, that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Can you give us a diorama update on your homemade diorama?
You know what? It's in a bunch of pieces. I forgot I was going to do that. I'll have to do that. We'll say that for the next show.
Okay.
But I have added a decent amount of things to it. I'm pretty excited with the way it's turning out, and I hope to have some more pictures and have something to show you guys for next time. That'll be fun.
Okay, cool. Well, we learned a lot today, and I'm excited that I can go set up my Wolvie now. I'm going to go look at the cover of 181 and get an exact pose for him.
Yeah, perfect.
Because Hulk's already posed. Well, no, I need a pose for Hulk too. So thank you to our viewers and our chatters.
Absolutely. You guys were awesome.
I'm happy you all tuned in on a Sunday, football Sunday. That was impressive that we got. Oh, I'm sorry I missed the Chiefs-Titans game.
Ooh, that would have been a good one.
Yeah, on a football Sunday, you guys tuned in. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the people that watch this afterwards. And please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And, of course, peace and love. Peace and love.